It started the live stream.
If we lower the screen.
Hey, Lucy, how are you? What's going on? Pick?
So two different ones. We got both of them because it was like super discounted.
Okay.
So we have one. The theme is Enchanted Forest.
That's beautiful. And swipe? I like this one. Which one do you like? You like this one?
The black one.
I love the black
I
one.
think it fits
Oh my
more.
god, I think it's so beautiful. I can take off my glasses.
Yeah, right. It looks amazing with my hair.
Oh my
I'm
god,
so
it
gonna
looks
dye it anyway.
amazing. What color?
I'll make it blue.
Look
Because I
how
have green.
gorgeous it looks. Oh, I love that.
It was like,
And this one's okay.
I
But
think it fits.
this fits you, but the color blah.
I think that's like the issue.
This
that
is stunning.
it really.
It's
I
stunning.
put it on and I was like, and it's like that see-through kind of top. It's really cool.
Stunning. Stunning. Sorry, looking at problems.
Can I make your day?
Yeah.
You know how I always say when you're welcome a day when we put that screen up and it won't come down?
So the new expression we have in preschool is fuckity fuck fuck. We tried with the switch in the room, and why won't it come down? Well, it looks nice on the wall.
This
We
one
say
is
that
the
in
one.
preschool. No, I don't think so. I love the
I
other
think it's
one.
this one.
I love that dress. I just think the contrast between the black and the red.
Yeah, and then I think I'm gonna go maybe with like a lighter, like a blue. I think I'm gonna go for more of that twinkle, periwinkle color in my hair.
Like a silvery blue? Yeah.
That's
Oh my
cool.
god, yes. And you could wear like sparkly silver shoes.
The shoes, yes, but I'm like so against a cork shoe, which is like in right now. I think.
Oh, yeah, it's like kills our environment,
But
correct? Yeah.
Macy's is great, easy.
Why don't you wear like sparkle sneakers?
It's too long. I need
No,
I need
baby heel.
heels to pick it up. Because if you saw it, it's just enough.
You could have a short. No, your mother sews.
Like
Okay.
with the dress, it still look really good long.
It's
It has
gorgeous.
this kind of.
It is so beautiful, Lucy. It is so beautiful. With the-
Allie's like not free, and neither and Shane I'm not taking without Allie. So yeah, it's junior and senior prom.
Oh my god, it's beautiful. Yes. Hi.
This is Amber Waldorf, and I've forgotten your name. I know you speak very well, Lucy. Nice to meet you, Anne. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi. Nice to meet you. Oh, pictures. Oh, it's beautiful. That prom is just around the corner. It looks so strange. And Lucy, this is my daughter Brianna Lucy. Brianna is wearing a shirt from junior choir. She's still just barely consented.
Everybody's wearing their thing.
That's my dad over there.
Oh, okay. We should probably sit near him, if that's okay. Yeah.
And hair down or hair up?
It's gonna be hair down.
Okay. Because you're gonna. Okay.
I think
Gorgeous.
I'll probably braid my hair the night before and just make sure this is fluffed up.
Where is the prom? I don't know.
We did it for free because of an alum many years ago. We're not allowed to decorate because like it's pretty enough on its own kind of deal.
Is it really pretty enough for that time? Okay.
But it's gonna be roaring 20s, but since we can't decorate, it would be kind of blah.
Okay.
Two of my best friends are prom heads, which is why I know all this. But Enchanted Forest is their goal, and it's gonna look pretty.
It's gonna look stunning.
Yeah. So it's the junior class, the senior class, and dates. So I don't know if I'm gonna take you yet.
Okay.
If I was, I was gonna take Allie, and then like I would have Stella take Shane, and then like the 6 of us. Because
Right, could happen.
yeah, but Allie's not free.
Okay.
And I'm not taking Shane without taking Allie because it's kind of weird. Also, Shane would take too much of the spotlight off of me. So
Shane is very,
I love him. Yeah.
oh, I do too, but I can see how he, you know, mean it negatively. He sucks oxygen.
Yeah. Without Allie there to balance him out, no.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm so old.
You're not so
Yeah, old, but it's like, oh my gosh, wait. I
There's something engaged. I'm old.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
I'm gonna
Shabbat
be
shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Hey, Cherie, how are you feeling?
I turned 18 October 24th.
Really nuts.
Cherie, how are you feeling?
Ooh.
Hi, Sherry.
Who said hi? Hi, Gail. Shabbat
Hi.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
The doors. It's religious hours, 9 to 8:30 to 12:30. I'm gonna pay enough like to buy wine at the end of every week if you buy cheap wine. I'm wondering if you're interested. So it's
Shabbat shalom, George.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Barbara.
Thank you, Sherry. How are you doing?
Thank God. Doing much better if I could just get my strength back.
Oh, you and me both. What did you do?
14, 15.
I had a UTI and then I ended up with AFib.
Ah,
Oh my God, you had AFib?
Yeah, but it righted itself out.
good.
Back to sinus before I left.
Well, you look much better, Sherry, compared to last time.
Compared to last week,
Yeah,
I'm feeling better.
good.
I just have no strength. I want to sleep all day.
Understood. Take care of yourself.
I'm trying.
I had a 7-hour back surgery.
Hey, my son too.
Yeah, it's been a hard recovery. I'm trying to get back to work. Weak.
He's
We
still
look
not
good, Gail.
totally.
Able to tell.
A little bit of makeup.
Hi, Lisa.
Thank God for the Zoom. I can put it on that way.
Right, you should have seen me 10 minutes ago.
Right, and you had it set up for something. You're not like, oh, I have that set aside for. Eat it again until next.
Zoom gives me my eyebrows, my lipstick.
Sherry, how are you? How are you feeling?
Thank God I'm doing better. How are you?
Oh, good, good. And how about other Sherry? How are you feeling? How are you doing?
It's like one of those things.
Sherry isn't talking to us.
It looks like her connection might be a little slow. It's good to see your face, though.
It's good to be here.
Moment of panic.
I'm not in a hospital gown.
Yeah, my kids are.
Yes. Nice to see you dressed.
Sort of dressed.
I do. So you don't have to worry about that.
Either taking a student's work or taking school property. We well, it's even like at least I said, well, I don't know the winter. First of all, I hate the family because families are into it. So how do you say to your child, you know, your father's a sperm donor or you're adopted? It is an inappropriate project. Don't get me started on this. But I also hate when we expect people to print because it's not printers anymore because we don't print anything because it's a waste. My only thing was when people had the choice of remote or in person. If you chose remote, you were told you were going to have to print things. That I understand because there's sheets that you would give. Yeah, if I'm going to send you the work packets, but I also made sure I sent them at least 4 or 5 days ahead to give parents a chance. You need to go to the library, you need to go wherever. And we knew our parents could do that. But I had one family that just like it wouldn't happen. And finally, I just ended up printing them and mailing them out because I was like, for my own sanity, because I'm tired of waiting. Oh no, Mom didn't.
That's better.
Yeah, we were hearing everybody from the gathering in the other room.
Oh, they had a wine and cheese thing for the sustaining members before the service.
Sustaining members, yep.
Somebody's a fast typist.
Sorry, that's me.
But you're good, Lisa.
Thank you. You don't see all the typos though, so.
Why are you screaming?
Oh, am I screaming?
No, I didn't.
You're not screaming, Lisa.
Okay, good. Thank you. When I'm screaming, you'll know. Ask my kid.
How are the twins doing?
They're really good. They're really good. Noah's up in Ithaca, working in a hospital, which was started out as just a, job to get by. He's gonna still work on getting a master's in entomology, but he wanted to settle in for a little while till COVID gets better because he's had enough with illness in his life. And Jacob is taking a break from acting and working towards getting certified as a sommelier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, ever since we took him to that wine tasting in Israel.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So
They're
everybody's
on good tracks.
They are. Can't ask for more than that, right?
No.
Right.
I know.
That's promising.
Adria,
Yes.
have you been doing any docent tours?
Yes, quite a few. I have one next week and one the following week.
So the art museum is open and busy?
No, the art museum is a hole in the ground. We are in the process of building a new museum on the same site. We won't be open until late 2024, but the docents are doing Zoom presentations.
Oh, very interesting. Good to
And
know.
yeah, they're excellent. And the other thing that we're going to start doing, and in fact, I'm going to, right now students are doing them, but beginning April 24th on the Saturday and Sundays at 2:00, there'll be docent-led tours of the outdoor sculptures.
Nice. Oh, I've been to those, but nice.
Yeah, we have some great outdoor sculptures and it's really fun. I had a friend there on Wednesday and it was fantastic.
So the outdoor is only on weekends.
Well, they're the ones that they're open to the general public and you don't have to register for it or anything like that. But
Okay.
we can also offer private tours or,
Right.
a
That's
group tour.
That's what I'm looking for my Brandeis group.
Okay, so what you want to do is you want to go to the museum website and contact, look for scheduled tours, schedule a docent tour, and that'll give you the contact person and you can write to her. And, if you want to carbon copy me just to keep me in the loop, then, I can double check and make sure that they respond to you.
George, are you sharing?
Is that a
Thanks, I
good bottle of
appreciate it.
wine, George? He's not answering us, Sherry,
I know he's on mute.
but he can still hear us.
Yeah. George, are you sharing? Unmute. Unmute.
Yeah, that's why I showed it. I wanted to share it with you. So, yeah, we're gonna enjoy a little bit of but look how much I have. Nothing. Anyway, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm waiting for the rabbi to
Yeah,
start singing. Where is he?
it's late tonight.
Well, they're having that wine and cheese first.
That's over then.
Ah.
It just ended.
Oh,
look,
here. Oh,
down there.
yeah, it's finished. That's over.
Yeah, I know, but until they get started,
Yeah,
Jewish time.
yeah.
Yeah, Sherry, I have AFib also, so I was refraining from drinking any wine or drinking coffee, and those are all the triggers for me. I don't know what triggers it for you, but
I have
now
no idea
the
what
doctor
triggered it.
the doctor now put me on all sorts of medicine, so now I could drink again.
Right.
I have no
I have
idea
AFib
what
too.
triggered it. I know the first night in the hospital, I hit 105, and then they discovered the AFib.
Wow. Well, when you go up to 105, then you know something's not right.
Yeah, I know. So something was definitely wrong.
Yeah. So,
But I'm back,
so
you know.
I highly recommend. I have a doctor whose name is Dr. Riley in Penn Medicine in Philadelphia. Very highly recommend him, Dr. Riley.
I've got
Yeah.
somebody from the hospital.
And you feel
that I'm
good
gonna be
about?
seeing.
Oh, are you in the Penn Hospital on US 1?
Yeah,
Okay, because that's where Dr. Riley is also.
this doctor is in Princeton.
Yeah, Dr. Riley comes to Princeton from Penn Medicine sometime. But if you feel comfortable with them, that's your doctor.
It's somebody I met, you know, she saw me in the hospital, so she knows
Hey,
the
listen,
story.
if they
For
could make,
goodness sakes.
if they could put your AFib into control, that's what counts, because it
I'm
really is.
fine.
Yeah, so without
I'm back in
medicine?
I was back in sinus rhythm before I even left the hospital.
But by putting you on certain medicines, or you just did it on your own?
It
You
did it by
converted-
itself. Well, I had a heparin drip, and when I came home, they put me on Eliquis and some other medicine.
Well, good for you. Okay, so I'm very happy to hear it. I know when I get it, it's not a fun thing. And
No,
I heard some other people have this AFib also. It's terrible. This is what happens when we get a few years beyond our 30th.
true. The only thing is, they told me I can't take my Claritin D anymore because it raises the heartbeat.
Oh.
So
that-
I'm off Claritin D.
Here they come.
So, okay, so that's
That should be the
for,
worst of it.
Mute us.
Are those yours?
Yeah,
Do you know whose reading glasses those are?
almost. Maybe not.
Okay. All right. We all need.
see the cantor, I see the rabbi, so all good.
Yep.
Todd Wartell, paging Todd Wartell. All right.
I'm just gonna mute her. Come on. Let's be
Short. I need an opportunity to get not to be short.
I think we should all mute ourselves at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a good
Yes,
idea.
everybody, needs to should mute.
It's on back. Like, all right, I don't know. Everyone, if you could start taking your seats.
Hey, I tried to.
I haven't really tried yet. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Good evening. My name is Todd Wachtel, and on behalf of Congregation Beth Chaim, it is an honor to welcome you to our service this evening as we Zoom from the sanctuary. As part of our ongoing 50th anniversary celebration, tonight we celebrate members who joined in the 2000s. Before our worship begins, I do have some information to share with you. As a reminder, you are part of our security team. Please keep your eyes open. In case of emergency, please be aware that there are exits in all directions out of the sanctuary, including a door on the bima which leads to the library. If you're wearing a hearing aid with T-coil setting, you may access our hearing loop using our program. We do have headphones for those without that program. Large print prayer books are available as well. These are located on the table in the entrance by the sanctuary. We want to create a sacred place that will inspire prayer. Please silence or turn off your cell phones. While we enjoy seeing your faces, if you're not vaccinated or boosted against the COVID-19 virus, please wear a mask the entire time that you're in the sanctuary, unless you're eating. If you're on Zoom, please stay muted unless the clergy invite you to unmute and participate. We may be physically separated from one another, but we're one community in prayer and celebration. On Shabbat, we offer praise to God. So I want to start the service by offering the following words of gratitude. So I've been a Kurt Vonnegut fan for my whole life. Breakfast of Champions, Cat's Cradle, Slaughterhouse-Five. These are probably my favorite books that I've ever read. So you can't imagine how excited I was when Kurt Vonnegut was named to be the speaker at my graduation at Syracuse University. Eric's laughing. Go Orange. That day, he told us the story of his uncles. And the first one was his bad Uncle Dan. And he told this whole long story about toxic masculinity and how Uncle Dan thought that a guy had to go to war, but that's a speech for another day. See, that day, Vonnegut also spoke about his good Uncle Alex. And he said, when life was most agreeable, this Uncle Alex would always say, but if this isn't nice, what is? And he would try to say that 4 or 5 times a month, recognizing that there's always good in life. We're on the tail end of a global pandemic. At least I hope so. I've been helping out with the Beth Chaim COVID response team for a lot of nights, and a lot of nights were really, really scary. We had to make a lot of hard decisions. We had to tell a lot of families no. I hate telling people no. This week, the group and the board agreed to change our policy from masked or vaxxed to masked optional, and I'm really thankful that we're at this place. My daughter's bar mitzvah was March of 2020. It was the weekend after the Purim Carnival when we were first starting to hear about coronavirus, and that was equally scary. And I think it was the first time at Beth Chaim that we did a service online was my daughter's bar mitzvah. I actually made the awful joke of saying, wow, I'm really excited to be viral on the internet, which in retrospect, probably not a great joke. But the reality is 2/3 of our guests at our service and at our party felt really uncomfortable coming. And it was just a very different experience than what we were expecting. It was great. It's very memorable. It's historic, but it was just different. And I was just remember being so grateful for all the people that did show up and being grateful for the people that joined us online. We all are part of a community, and whether we are on a box, on our screen, or whether we're present, sometimes our presence is a present enough. As we stand in 2022, maybe they don't use the word, but I see the joy in the families that are starting to come back to Beth Chaim. I saw the joy in the children that came through the Men's Club Purim Carnival a couple weeks ago. I saw utter bewilderment in some of the kids that were born during the pandemic who had no idea what was going on, but I hope they'll catch up. We've learned a lot during the pandemic. We've learned about our friendships. We've learned about our community. We've learned about DoorDash. We've learned about Zoom. But most importantly, we've learned how strong our Beth Chaim family is. The board, the executive committee, the clergy, everyone on the education and preschool staff, the building staff, we did everything that we could to keep everyone safe. And I believe that we accomplished all of our goals. And I'm so thankful for what we all accomplished as a community. But now, after all we've been through, I'm so grateful that we're back together, either in person or on Zoom. We've gone from saying no to maybe to why not. The purpose of a congregation is to congregate. There's life on our Zoom page, there's life on our YouTube page, and once again, there's life in this house. If we've learned anything from the pandemic, it's that life changes rapidly. None of us know where we're going to be in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. All we know is what we have right now and what we have tonight. So as you enjoy the Shabbat service tonight, either online or in person, right now, tonight, is one of those times where you just look around like Kurt Vonnegut's uncle and say, if this isn't nice, what is? Shabbat Shalom.
Although all the liturgy will be projected on the screen, if you'd like to follow along in our prayer books, we're on page 24, which you can also see in the top right corner of your screen.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ochem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malchuni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
As we heard from Todd, this Shabbat we celebrate our members who joined Congregation Beth Chaim in the 2000s. You will hear from several of those members throughout our service tonight. If you'd like to follow along the prayer book, we mentioned all the prayer numbers will be at the top right corner of your screen. And also keep your ears open for prayers set to tunes from aughts pop music. Also, I learned called the Naughties. Didn't know that. Tonight, we are also celebrating our sustaining members. Those folks who have made it possible for anyone to join the Beth Chaim family, irrespective of their financial situation. We are grateful to each of you for your generosity and ongoing commitment to our Jewish community, and we'll have an opportunity to thank you during our service. To officially welcome in Shabbat, it is my pleasure to invite up to the Bima, Brianna, Lori, and Rich Watson to lead us in candle lighting on pages 2 and 3.
Oh, it's not him. Oh, okay. Dan, you said you were starting.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's my fault.
A little extra music.
Light is sown by the righteous, tucked into cracks in the sidewalks, dropped in the grass, breathed into the air, left waiting for others to find.
You who are upright in heart, let your deeds declare your love. Let your hands be a source of healing. Let your joy be a fountain of blessing.
Rejoice in righteousness and spread holiness throughout your days. Light is sown for you to magnify in service to God's holy name.
Yeah.
Trick man.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We ask all who are able to please rise as we turn to Kiddush.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Please be seated as we turn to Lechato D, our mystical prayer of gratitude that our beloved Shabbat has finally arrived, maybe after a long week or a week that flew by, but we're grateful to be together now and to have some rest and community and connection.
לך דודי לקראת קלה, לה לה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לה לה, בני שבת נקבלה, שמור וזכור בליבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד, שמו אחד, ושמו תפארת לך דודי לקראת קלה, לה לה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לה לה, בני שבת נקבלה, לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, בראש מקדם ניסוחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה לך דודי לקראת קלה, לה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לה, בני שבת נקבלה, התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך אורי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלי. לך דודי לקראת קלה, לה לה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לה לה, בני שבת נקבלה. בואי שלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, לה לה.
I invite you to turn your neighbors, greet them Shabbat Shalom, friends on Zoom and YouTube, chat each other.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Yep. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Yes.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We stay standing and continue page 28 with Baruch, our call to worship. We'll now hear an English reading from Alicia and Peter Lifflin, who are zooming in. We're just going to turn on our sound so we can hear Alicia and Peter.
Can you hear me? Good evening. As you taught Torah, to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery.
Thank you, Alicia.
And we should also point out that our melody for Aravim dates to the 2000s as well.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Shem kevod malchuto leolam va'ed.
Please be seated.
Yad la la yad la 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 לכתך בדרך ושוכבך וקומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בניניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך la 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 למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים Ani Adonai Elohechem.
It's now my pleasure to invite up Dan Berg to offer an English reading.
Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished. A gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home, to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
I'm not sure if this mashup or One Day Itself is 2009.
One Day Itself.
Ashkibeinu Adonai Eloheinu Lishadon V'hamidenu Shomeinu Elchaim. Ashkibeinu Adonai Eloheinu Lishadon V'hamidenu Shomeinu Elchaim. Times I lay under the moon, I thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all come around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say, back we don't want to fight no more, there'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day. One day, one day, one day. Ashkibeinu Adonai Eloheinu Lishadon V'hamidenu Shomeinu L'chaim. Ashkibeinu Adonai Eloheinu Lishadon V'hamidenu Shomeinu L'chaim. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים, את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We'll now hear from another friend on Zoom, Steve Garwood, who will share an English reading with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good, sorry? It's in my way. Oh, sorry. With good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Thank you, Steve. We'll now ask all who are able to please rise as we turn to the Amidah, our central prayer of petition.
יגיד תהילתך, ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
It is now my pleasure to invite up Laura Nash and Jack Greenberg for a reading as I ask everyone else to please be seated.
May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Thank you.
The rabbis, as they're imagining a world that might one day be perfect when the Messiah comes, said, what are we going to do about all those sacrifices the Torah tells us about? And they decide they can throw out all the sacrifices except for one, the sacrifice of thanksgiving. Because no matter how beautiful, how perfect, how wonderful the world is, we always want to be sure we express our gratitude for that which is good. And so it is our custom here at Congregation Beth Chaim to share together things that we're grateful for. What are the blessings in our lives? And I'm going to start us off tonight by asking all of our sustaining members to please rise at your seats. Those folks I mentioned at the beginning who make it possible for everyone to be in our community. And while we normally say thank you in the Hebrew to the you with a big Y, we're going to say thank you, plural, with the small y, for the humans who help make this world a better place, who care so deeply about this community and give above and beyond.
מודים אנחנו לך, מודים אנחנו לך.
Thank you so much. Are there any other blessings we'd like to share as a community? Lori? 2 days, in 2 days. Sunday is supposed to be beautiful to spend time together outside. Right, exactly, as we continue our 50th anniversary celebration at the JCC camp. Christine? And we're grateful to have you too. We have some other new faces in the audience, in the congregation tonight. We're really grateful to see you. Alana? Oh, that no matter what we humans get up to, that Mother Nature still sends us signs of hope in the beautiful plants that are blooming. So we'll pause to say thank you and then continue with some more.
מודים אנחנו לך, מודים אנחנו לך.
Neil. Grateful to have you back here and grateful for this amazing, supportive, loving community. Brianna. Grateful to make a new friend. I had a feeling it was going to be a good match. Any other blessings? Sorry? All right, so we'll sing and then we'll go to the Zoom. Okay.
מודים אנחנו לך, מודים אנחנו לך.
And tell us what we're grateful for on Zoom. So for Sunny, all right.
Thanks,
and
Mom.
grateful that Zoom enables her to be with us almost every Shabbat from far away. So we'll say a big thank you.
מודים אנחנו לך, מודים אנחנו לך.
We'll now turn to our prayer for peace, the one thing we can ask of God. Oh, so sorry. Keith. We can discuss over Oneg who you're rooting for, although I suspect I have a sense where this crowd's going to go. One last one.
מודים אנחנו לך, מודים אנחנו לך.
As we now shift gears to our prayer for peace, we want to acknowledge the terrorist attack that took place in Tel Aviv yesterday, which unfortunately is just one of several in the last 2 weeks. And so we are praying for peace in Ukraine. We are praying for peace in Israel. We are praying for peace for all the people of this earth. And so we turn to Shalom Rav, asking God, please give us so much peace, not just a little bit, but an encompassing great abundance of peace.
שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. לבדו לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, שים בעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, שים בעולם. בטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה ישמרך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, שים בעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, שים בעולם. ברוך אתה אדוני, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, שים בעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, שים בעולם. שים בעולם. שים בעולם.
By three things does the world endure: justice, truth, and peace. Rabbi Muna said the three are one because if justice is done, truth has been effected, and peace is brought about. I was reminded of gratitude for a new justice in our Supreme Court, a justice that helps more people in our country to feel represented in our justice system, which we pray will ultimately lead to peace. So we take a few moments for silent prayer, and we'll come back together in just a moment for yet another prayer for peace.
עושה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, אמן. שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, אמן.
Our thoughts now turn to all those in our lives and across the globe in need of healing. Healing of the body, healing of the mind, healing of the heart, and healing of the soul. On our screens appear the names of many community members or loved ones who are in need of healing. I see names coming in through the chat box of those in need of healing, and now invite our members of our congregation to offer up names. all those and many more, we turn to this prayer for healing composed in the 2000s, invoking the names of our ancestors, asking God to care for all those in need of healing, just as God has cared for those who've come before us.
Refainu Adonai v'nafneh, Usheinu v'nivashea, El karov l'chol torav, HaKarov l're'ah Yishor. We pray for healing of the body. We pray for healing of the soul, for strength of flesh and mind and spirit. We pray to once again be whole. Hail Nirvana, holy is Ilana. Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, Refuat Lema. Hail Nirvana, holy is Ilana. Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, Refuat Lema. הושיע את עמך וברך את נחלתך וראה ונשא בת העולם בשמרה אבותינו בשמרה אמותינו ענה אדוני הושיענה. We pray for healing of our people. We pray for healing of the land and peace for every race and nation, every child, every woman, every man. Hail Nirvana, holy is Ilana. Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, Refuat Lema. Hail Nirvana, holy is Ilana. Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, Refuat Lema.
The first 10 years of the new millennium was another eventful decade. While the lead up to the year 2000 was filled with anxiety over the possible crash of our computer systems, thankfully Y2K did not become the crisis we originally anticipated. However, the September 11 attacks in 2001 resulted in radical shifts for our country and the world. Shortly thereafter began the war on terror, the war in Afghanistan, and the war in Iraq. This decade saw climate change and global warming becoming common concerns, with new technology to predict its impacts. This decade witnessed the emergence of social networks, and the use of computer-generated imagery became more widespread in film. J.K. Rowling was the best-selling author in the decade, thanks to the Harry Potter book series, although the best-selling book was The Da Vinci Code. And like him or not, Eminem was named the Music Artist of the Decade by Billboard. This decade ended with a global economic crisis from which we are still recovering. But I'm proud to say that Congregation Beth Chaim weathered all the storms of the 2000s. To reflect on our house of life during this tumultuous decade, It is now my pleasure to invite Lisa Garwood to speak on Zoom. If you don't mind, Canner. Is it still good? Okay, great, fantastic. She and her husband, Steve, from whom we heard earlier, they joined in 2006. Lisa, take it away.
Shabbat Shalom. In the fall of 2006, our kids had just entered the 4th grade. We'd agreed long before, my husband not being Jewish yet, that instead of Hebrew school, we would hire someone to coach them when it was time to get ready for B'nai Mitzvah. Coming home from yet another cousin's mitzvah, my son Jacob called from the back seat of the car, "When can we go to Hebrew school?" He didn't realize he was supposed to not want to go. My husband said, "See if you can find some place where we can all be members." I spoke with Anne. We went to a Shabbat service with the Rabs and fell in love with Beth Chaim. As my husband Steve says, it was a good place. That's good with a capital G. In the years that followed, we found ourselves involved more and more. We became Sunday morning adult ed fanatics, excitedly participated in activities and fundraisers, made wonderful friends, and one of our lives' highlights, went to Israel with Rabbi Wisnia and a bunch of congregants who became fast friends. Also in the years that followed, we were supported by the open-hearted clergy and congregants when our family was faced with severe illness over and over again. Words cannot describe how much that means and how much it helps. Over time, living with a Jewish wife, raising Jewish children, experiencing the beauty of Judaism so meaningfully through Beth Chaim, made a deep impression on my husband. And about 2 years ago, he decided he wholeheartedly wanted to become part of the tribe, and he began the journey of conversion. Last January, we happily celebrated my husband's becoming Jewish. With Beth Chaim being such an important part of our lives, it's an honor to give back and do our parts, me by serving on, actually both of us, by serving on committees, and me on the board for many years, and to donate what we can and when we can with both time and funds. A community only thrives when everyone does their part. This is our religious home, our haven in times of need, the place where we want to share and celebrate our joys and accomplishments. And as for our boys, they did start Hebrew school in 4th grade, became B'nai Mitzvah at 13, were thrilled to continue to Hebrew high school and became confirmands in 10th grade. After that, they came back to tutor. When they were home from college on vacation, they came back to help. This is what happens at Beth Chaim. It's a house of life, and we want to be part of it. Who wouldn't?
Lisa, Steve, I cannot thank you enough for those beautiful words. And Steve, thank you for letting your wife tell your story. I'm now going to invite up to the Bima anyone who joined in the 2000s. So 2000 to 2009, if that's you, come on up. You'll help me. We might need one for family. Turn this on. I'll let you know when it's your turn. Okay? Not yet, not yet. Come on up. In front of the art, friends, in front of the art. Yeah, there we go. Eve duet Adonai b'simcha, bo'u lifanav birnana. The psalmist taught us to serve God with joy, to come into God's presence with gladness. Our God and God of our ancestors, in celebration, we come together this evening to offer praises to you, our rock and our redeemer. Your steadfast love supports all generations. You give us strength and endow us with a willingness and determination to continue the work which we began 50 years before. With your guidance, God, our founding leadership placed their faith in you. laboring to make your name sacred, that we might come together at this time, our congregation's golden anniversary. Those founders' efforts were not in vain. Through their prayers and their example, we have been brought near to you, Adonai, to seek you with our total being. And now I'll ask everyone to join together as the 2000s as our leaders. May the recollections of the past 50 years of those who have led before us stir us to meet our duties with renewed vigor, confirm us in our hope, and strengthen the devotion of those whose passion. As a united people, may we preserve our heritage so that it may bring us joy and strengthen future generations. We ask your blessing, Adonai, for this congregation and its members over 5 decades. May Beth Chaim continue to grow and flourish, that through it, reverence for you be implanted in the hearts of all. May we learn to share our work and prayers with those of other communities, and may our sharing with others strengthen our own vision. Through our word, as much as through our action, may we serve you and sanctify your holy name. Amen. I need 2 volunteers or more to open the ark. I'm going to ask everyone to please rise as we turn to Aleinu. As we go from one sacred occasion to another, that there is still work to be done, and that is why we are here. And so we praise God, who reminds us that we partner together in repairing our world.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Just Lisa and Eric, sorry. They're my next speakers. We'll keep our 2 speakers up. Everyone else is welcome to be seated. As we are quickly approaching Mourner's Kaddish, we have a reading first. So I invite Lisa and Eric Sheffield to share that reading. This is bigger. It is bigger. The light of life is a finite flame, like the Shabbat candles. Life is kindled, it burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance, and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames, we see no more, and are no more seen, yet we do not despair. For we are more than a memory, slowly fading into the darkness.
With our lives we give life, something of us can never die. We move into the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life.
I'll ask anyone who feels comfortable rising when your loved one's name is mentioned. Remember several whose loved ones are in the period of Shiva, those first 7 days of mourning. Baruch ben Hannah Avraham, cousin of Jennifer Shevlin. Rhoda Mollett Klein, mother of Jane Klein. Sheila Fetter, mother of Lisa Fetter. Several whose loved ones are in the period of Shloshim, those first 30 days of mourning. Martha Friedman, mother of Alan Friedman. Michael Zimmer, husband of Ronnie Zimmer. Mike Setzman, Mahutin, in-law of Karen Brodsky and Don Leibowitz. Joseph Renix, father of Chris Circus. And remember the following yard sites, the anniversary of the passing of these loved ones. Anne Francis Konevsky, Ruth Berman, Jeanette Bloom, Ilsa Shapira, Hilda Siegel, Lawrence Pastiora, Etta Gordon, Adele Feldstein, Eva Cohen, Eric Friedman, Florence Gerson, Liba Miller, Melvin Cipher, Joseph Nathanson, Jesse Gleeksman, Flora Maria Safe, Arnie Goldstein, Joseph Rindler, Elliot Ross, Gertrude Durlacher, Francis Hochberg, Sid Hoffing, Dana Blaustein, Ruth Abramson, Jack Kossower, Evelyn Korinsky, Ida Kaplowitz, Irene Soffin, William Karp, Ruth Fidel, Mark Nevins, George Otis, Paul Tandler, Liza and Zelig Parab, Solomon Purr, Jean Pucciati, Anita Sheff, Dorothy Greenbaum, Grace Swartz Arno, Lothar Daniel, Stanley Weinstein, Jack Horowitz, Allison Hamilton, Hyman Sachs, and Joe Mayer. We also remember those among our members from the 2000s who are no longer with us, but whose memory we honor tonight and always. And I invite our entire congregation to please rise as we join together in the hallowed words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach yirtei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon, u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'amei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Kedusha v'yichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiran v'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom v'romam. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Zichronam livracha. May their memories always be a blessing. I invite you to please be seated as I now invite up Ken Pograb, our immediate past president, for a few announcements.
Thank you so much to Rabbi Blam and Cantor Binder for another beautiful Shabbat service. We hope you found this experience to be uplifting and meaningful. We are so glad to celebrate our 50th anniversary year. Mazel tov to those who joined Beth Chaim in the 2000s. Thank you to Ann Berman Waldorf, Adria Sherman, and Cheryl Wexler for your assistance as tech experts tonight. I am Ken Pograb, representing the Board of Trustees. Todd and I invite you to join us for a small Oneg Shabbat in the social hall. We are happy to speak with you over a dosh. It's a fun weekend at Congregation Beth Chaim. Come to study Torah tomorrow morning at 8:45 in person with bagels and on Zoom. No bagels on Zoom unless you bring your own.
BYOB.
Then on Sunday is our congregational picnic at JCC Camp in East Windsor. Beginning at 9 a.m., there will be 5 hours of fun for all ages. First are opportunities to study for adults as well as religious school students. Then a kosher Chinese lunch will be served for those who have prepaid, with games to follow from traditional sports like soccer and basketball to card games, mahjong, and lawn games. Adult Ed will continue after lunch as well. There will be a professional photographer on site to capture the fun. Speaking of our 50th anniversary, help us fill our ad journal and get a free ticket for every 3 ads you solicit. I am here for you. You are here for me. Together, we are Beth Chaim. We are an active, inclusive, and diverse congregation. Please check our website, bethchaim.org, to see a listing of all of our many classes, meetings, and activities throughout the week. Shabbat Shalom.
And I keep forgetting because we didn't do motzi for so long as we were not eating together. Well, first, say gratitude for bread and sustenance that we need to go out and learn Torah and do mitzvot and care for each other. And then we'll close with a very special song. Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you go on the microphone and just, no, go ahead. You know more than I do on this one. Ronnie Staffenberg, one of our 50th anniversary co-chairs.
There was a reference made to the ad journal, which refers to our big fundraiser, Excitement Evening of Wonder, with a phenomenal mentalist, Sidney Friedman, May 14th in the synagogue. Read all your announcements about buying tickets for the event and go out and sell some ads for our ad journal. This is our biggest fundraiser of the year.
Thank you, Ronnie. And now for sustenance.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
So I do believe that this tune of Adon Olam was the cue to Lisa Garwood that Beth Chaim was the right place for them.
Really?
She'll correct me if I'm wrong, but that was a piece of the story we didn't hear tonight. But when she heard the tune that spoke to her soul that she knew, she had found home. So an oldie but goodie. I hope it speaks to you too.
Adon olam asher malach beterem kol yitzir nivra red nasa bechefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'u haya ve'u hoveh והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשיל לו להכבירה, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצור חברי בעת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, בידו אפקיד רוחי, וידישן והעירה, ועם רוחי גבייתי, אדוני לי ולא אירא.
I'll invite all who are able to rise one last time for our closing benediction, words of peace and wholeness.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless us and protect us.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's light shine upon us and may God be gracious to us.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May we always feel that God's presence is near, and may we be blessed with the greatest gift of all, the gift of peace.